Star Wars Rebels Episode 3 Fight or Flight. This was definitely a great episode. I really loved the sort of connection between Ezra and Zeb. It was definitely really cool that they butt heads in the beginning and then they really bond by the end. And even though we've only had 3 episodes, and I guess you could sort of count 4 since the premiere was an hour long, although we have a huge group of people, I won't say huge group, but we have a small group of people. The focus has really been on 2 characters, and one is Ezra, of course, because he is the main character, but the other has really been Zeb. Like the last episode really had a huge focus on Zeb, and they gave us sort of the introduction to his species backstory because his species is new to the Star Wars universe. And I think that's why he gets such a big focus and why he's going to be pretty much like the best friend of the main character, even though they have these moments like in this episode where they really butt heads. By the end of it, they always come out stronger as friends. And I think that's wise because his species is new to the Star Wars universe. Like all these characters are new, of course, to us because it's a brand new series, but his species is new to a universe that has existed since the original Star Wars film. So decades upon decades of the Star Wars universe has been told, and yet here's something that's been created for this series specifically. So I feel like that's why his character gets so much focus. But it has only been 3 episodes, so it could just be me thinking like, the last episode did focus on Zeb for sure, and then this episode is just kind of the 2 characters bonding together. So it just shows the most focus so far has been on them. But like I said, it has only been 3 episodes, so I could just be assuming way too much out of the series. But either way, any moment that we're going to get with Ezra and Zeb, I think is going to be really good. Even from the very beginning, you could tell how the characters were going to be. Like, they would kind of just fight against each other, and then when time came to, they worked together in some fashion. Like, things would go wrong, but they would try to find at least some way to make it right. So that's what they do throughout this entire episode. It was definitely fun to watch. Them having a TIE fighter was just really cool. Like, they were just the introduction of the actual TIE fighter I really loved, because when Zeb was first in it, like, my favorite scene in this episode is when he first takes the guy out and he jumps in the TIE fighter. He's just going in circles, just blasting stuff. Like, he's just in like a loading bay or something, and he's just going in circles, like laughing like a maniac. He's just like, haha, and he's just blowing stuff up. And I thought that was really, really funny because it's like he's not doing anything. There were 3 people to take out: the 2 stormtroopers that are following him, and then the one guy in the TIE fighter. So he takes that guy out, or like he has that guy take out the stormtroopers, and then he jumps around and he takes that guy out of the TIE fighter. And so that's it. Like, everyone's gone. He's got no issues to worry about. And he's just going in circles, just blowing up a bunch of stuff. And it just looked really funny to me. And then him flying through the city, like, scraped the top of the building or something. That was really funny to watch. And then he helps Ezra, and he's like, you've been throwing it in my face that you saved my life over and over again. So I'm going to need you to say that we're even now because I'm saving your life. So, I need to hear you say it before you get in this TIE fighter. So all of it was just really good. We also got to see some pretty cool stuff with Ezra using the Force. The first moment was really, really funny, and I love that when he was trying to get the lid off of the box so that they could get to the fruit, and it's shaking, and the stormtrooper just pushes it down like, oh, something must be rattling the box, and he just pushes it down, and Zeb just starts laughing at him. That was a really great scene. It was really genuine, and I love that. It was a really cool moment at first because Ezra was trying, and Zeb even had the look on his face like, holy crap, the kid's really getting the hang of this. So he's like shaking the top of the box and stuff, and then the stormtrooper just, boom, done, and Zeb just bursts out laughing. So I love that scene in the episode as well. But it was really cool. We got that moment when they were in the TIE fighter and there was all the stuff on the front of the window so they couldn't see, and Ezra, using the Force, he knew they were about to crash into this giant pillar, I guess, and he used the Force and he just moved the TIE fighter out of the way and he saved their lives. So it was really, really cool. I love that. And of course, by the end, they go through all the craziness, they get their fruit. But overall, I think this was a really, really great episode. It had really cool action moments, like them working together, not only in the TIE fighter, but Ezra doing his own thing, like him running across the rooftops and stuff was a pretty cool scene. Them actually helping the people that Ezra knew they were friends of his parents, which I think is really the first mention of his actual parents in this series, and he does. They haven't specified anything, and I'm sure you can look up the information as to whether or not his parents really are alive. But that was kind of cool that they actually did reference that, because even in the very first episode, they don't even really reference the fact that his parents are kind of gone. They don't really talk about the fact that he lives by himself, except for when Kanan went to see him. Like, you can either stay here and get collectibles, or you can come with us. But other than them actually showing the house and mentioning his parents in this episode, and once again, it's only 3 episodes in, I understand that, but other than those two little things, we haven't really heard too much about his backstory. And aside from the stuff you can read, they haven't really expressed it in the series yet, because only 3 episodes. But I did enjoy that little reference to his parents, to his actual past life before he took off with the rebels. But overall, I loved this one. It was really funny. It was a cool buddy moment. Like, Sabine even had her moment where she was just doing the art, and of course Ezra has a crush on her. You can easily tell that, and so he wanted to be her inspiration. And she got inspired by his bed falling on Zeb, and that was really funny how they did that in the end. And then they teamed up together. Excuse me. They team up together, and then they of course go up against their the robot, which I can't remember his name, but they of course go after him. And I love him in this episode. He only had like really the beginning and then the end of the episode, but he was really funny. He was just messing with Ezra. And that was another funny part when Ezra was trying to use the Force on the bull, and I think that was the very first scene. And he was like, "Man, I'm getting the hang of it," and it was really cool. Once again, it was like, it's a really cool moment. They had the music going from the old films, and it's like, holy crap, he's really getting the hang of the Force. That's really cool. And then they just move it up a little. He's like, like he was like, "I'm just messing with you," and then it really made Ezra mad. So, I loved him in this episode. He was funny, both the beginning and the end, because even in the end when Ezra and Zeb were going after him, they still both fell on top of each other. So he just had really funny moments in this episode. And overall, even though it didn't really contribute too much to like the main story of this season, like whatever the overarching story is really going to be, I definitely loved it. The action was cool, the comedy was definitely good, and the main story of Ezra and Zeb just bonding as characters was definitely great. And I can't wait to see how they show the other characters bonding, either with Ezra or just with each other, because technically they already have. So I'd love to get more of that, like Kanan and his girlfriend, or Sabine and anyone really, like anybody with anyone else that we haven't seen. I can't wait to see how they do that, because based on the way they did this episode, it'll be really great to see everyone's different personalities really interact and get a really big focus in upcoming episodes. But I enjoyed the episode. It was a great story. Like I said, great action, great comedy. I don't think I've ever seen anything in Star Wars where they did the Force and it was just silly. Like, it's really cool for like 1 second, like he's really got it, and then the next second it's like, the droid's holding it up, or the stormtrooper just comes by and pushes the box down, and the guy next to him just laughs in his face. So I don't think I've seen the Force used in such a comedic way before. So I really love that too. It's unique for me. I'm sure it's been done a ton of times in a bunch of different things for Star Wars, because it's Star Wars and it's been around for decades, but I'd never seen it, so I really thought it was very cool how they did that. But comment below, let me know what you guys thought about this episode, your favorite parts, your least favorite parts. And we've only had a really big focus on Ezra and Zeb, so who do you guys want to see a big focus on next? Because personally, I want Sabine's backstory, and the main reason behind that is the fact that she has Mandalorian armor. So did she know a bounty hunter? Did she just find that stuff? Did she steal it? I just want to know, why does she have Mandalorian armor? Because all the Mandalorians, really, which we found out in Attack of the Clones, are just the clones. So how'd she get that armor and like have it kind of fit to her? Because it's much skinnier than anyone else. So I'd like to see, although I guess technically I said that wrong. The Mandalorians aren't the clones. The Mandalorians are people, just specifically Boba Fett is. So, I'd still like to know, is she a part of the Mandalorians? Is she a Mandalorian? What's the deal with her? I wanted to see what she can do. But as far as pairings go, I'd actually like to see Kanan and his girlfriend, I think. I want to see their backstory, how they met, and if she knew him when he was a Jedi, which would be when he was fairly young, but had they been together that long? does she know about the Jedi and stuff like that. As far as pairings, I'd like to see the two of them and what they talk about, because I feel like they'd give us the most history out of the series, because Kanan being the Jedi and his girlfriend being his girlfriend. I wish I could remember her name, honestly. But them being who they are, I think they would give us the most, information. But if it just focused on one character, for me, I'd like to know a lot more about Sabine and how she, like, just her backstory. Because, like I said, the whole Mandalorian thing, it makes me wonder: did she leave? Did she find the armor? Was she given it? Was it given to her or anything like that? But any ideas that you guys have, who you want to see get a really big focus, or which pairings you want to see get a big focus, put those ideas down in the comments below. And thanks for watching.